Bob and I shared a lot of interesting aesthetics, I guess. That was probably the way in which we worked together. That Bob didn't necessarily contribute in terms of nuts and bolts a lot, but had a great deal of respect for his sense of aesthetics, and I always used him whenever there was a crossroads. I would say to Bob, well, look, we could do this or we could do that, and my instinct is to go for this, but what do you think? And as soon as he said, well, I think that usually made up my mind very quickly. Across the Border was an interesting accident because I'd actually programmed a drum beat into the Fairlight, and this happened a couple of times, and for some reason it got rerouted in the wrong way and ended up triggering a bass line in a Prophet 5 synthesizer. And it's around that bass line that the whole song was built, and it was a complete accident. It was a piece of technology that I got wrong, basically. The great thing about the recording of Across the Border was that we were working with Iva Davies at the time, and we were working in London in a disused studio which had belonged to Roxy Music and Brian Eno and their management company. We decided to use this place even though there was no gear in it. We hired everything in and rebooted this studio, and it so happened that Eno was living across the square in a downstairs apartment. And at one point, Iva Davies mentioned to him that we were recording and that I'd love him to come in and sing some backing vocals. So sure enough, when we moved ourselves to Air Studios to do the vocal recordings, Brian Eno turned up on his bicycle, believe it or not, that he just bought at the markets. He was very proud. He bought it for £10. And so there was a classic moment when I was standing in the studio next to Brian Eno singing backing vocals for Across the Border, which was quite a moment.